Everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a step-by-step on painting skulls. We've got 5 skulls sort of all intertwined. This is a small piece. This is 80mm wide. The actual image is 80mm wide by 195 high. We're going to be using the new Infinity 2024 and we're going to be using really thin paints. Now I've got 3 colours. I've just grabbed a black, a skin tone which is like a sort of like, I've got this one like a bone sort of colour, so I'm just going to go in with some random colours, and I've got one I can warm it up with as well. So 3 colours, and we're going to get this down. I'm just going to start to tint it back, but I'm going to really thin this out with isopropanol, really thin it, and then just do a mix with very light, and then just start to build it up and drop the shadows in and work these skulls in. So I'll move you in closer and we'll attempt the skulls, because I'm not keen on skulls unless they're big and I've got a bit more room to work. When you're doing real tight, tiny ones like this, it can be a little bit fiddly, but we'll give it a go. Test panel to the side. This is the reference image that I'm looking at, the one that I popped on the screen now. So that's what we're working from. We'll get it as close to, probably be a different shade of colouring than the one on the reference, but it doesn't matter. It's just practicing, it's just doodling with the brush, getting time on the brush and just going in on detail and keeping your detail sort of on point with your trigger. So 20 psi in the brush, nice thin paints. Let's crack on. Right guys, I've got this sort of skin tone that I mixed up. We'll give it a little test. Thin that out. That'll do, that's spraying alright, and we're just going to go in and just start to drop a tone on here. I'm just going to work round with a tone. Just drop some colour in on these. Like that. There we go. You can darken these out in a minute. Build this up a bit. That's not a bad bone colour actually. Just do a few little dot bits in here. So a brilliant brush for working if you're going up close, and this thing will put paint down. I mean, everyone's seeing it doing detail, but to work big with it is just as nice. Darken them out a bit. Let's get some like weird whispery bits out of here. That'll do. Let's get some darks in here. That's not bad. We've got the first sort of one in. Right guys, we've got that down so far there. That is quite small. when you think about it, that skull. A little bit of detail in there. Nice and sort of simple and easy with the Infinity. Now, I'm running the Infinity at 20 psi going right up to this paper. We're not getting any blowouts, it's just nice controlled, really tight fine lines when you need them. You can get this brush to do ridiculously fine lines. The paint's thin so it's flowing nice, and that's key if you want to hit real small details. You've got to really thin your paint out, you really have. Now, I've emptied the brush and I'm going to go back in with this skin tone and just map out the same coming down on these, and then we'll tone it down again. I've poured the tiny bit of paint, you can see that there's hardly anything in there. That's what I'd put in the cup. So I do always minimal paint, I don't overfill the cup up. Actually just going to throw it away because you'll put like the pass of the skin tone down, like the bone colour. You'll have a full cup, then you just usually just throw it away. So if you can, decant it into your pot and then just mix from your pot. Just add or thin to whatever consistency you want and just carry on. So I'm going to stick you in a time lapse. You'll see the time lapse on this and we'll get these in. There you go, we got it down. We use two colours. I use like a bone-like type colour, like one of my skin tones, and I used an FW black. So put the skin tone in first and then over thinned it with the isopropanol, just literally over thinned it, because this is iso, water and ink mix, and then just really thinned it down. So it was really washed out. And when I was blasting on here, it was really blowing out spider, and I thought, yeah, that's thin enough, we'll just go straight in. And then just minimal paint, 20 psi, minimal paint, it just drops it down really nice with this brush. There is only one other brush that I can paint like this with and be able to do the same on the trigger, and that's Custom Micron Takumi. If you know the Takumi and how it gets right down and tight like that, if you're wondering what this is like, that is exactly the same. That does the same thing when you go in, and you can just really feather and bounce the trigger right up close. And you are literally sketching with it. I think it's one of the easiest brushes to sketch with. If you want real minimal paint, you're just building the layers up and overlaying and build your picture up that way. It is brilliant for that, it really is, because the trigger's nice, wide, comfortable, and it's very responsive. You can just sit up close because it's got a short front end and just doodle with it. Plenty of viewing area because it's a small cup, so a great brush to paint with, it really is. I don't usually paint skulls. I've done a few on the channel. I've done sort of a few realistic ones on bike tanks and that before, but it's not my bag. I don't really go down that route. Everybody that sort of starts out airbrushing, we all sort of go the skull route. We have to paint skulls with flames or things like that. It's just one of them airbrushing things that we all go through, and then later on in your career you sort of buzz back to it and have a little go at it, like I've done tonight, just to put on a little go at some skulls. Quite a small piece, but just coming down, you can just keep going down and down and down and down with that brush and just make your images smaller, smaller, smaller and smaller, and you can just sit, and as I say, you can just sketch with it. That's what's nice. And then when you do bigger stuff, you just back off with the brush, just drop a little more paint back, and you can sort of drop details down but backed off and just crack on. So a great brush by Harder and Steenbeck, guys. So if you've ordered one, dye all your paints in. That's all you've got to do. Thin them out, sort your pressure out, what you like working at, and enjoy, because you will. So I hope you enjoyed the video on the 5 schools, and I will see you lot in the next one. Drop your comments, give me a bit of feedback, like, share, subscribe. It all helps the channel grow, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.